Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sumukascha Yekadantascha Kapilo Gajakarnakaha Lambodharascha Vikato Vignarajo Vinayakaha Dhumaketur Ganadhyakshaha Palachandro Gajananaha Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambaha Skandapurvajaha Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopasantaye Yasyadviradavakradhya Parishadhya Parastatam Vidhum Nigdhanti Satatam Vishvatsenam Tamastraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Atishtakarine Namo Vedanta Vedhyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine Krishna Dvaipayanam Vyasam Sarva Bhuta Hiteratam Vedabjabhaskaram Vande Samadhi Nilayam Munim Narayan Janmadhyasya Yataha Anvayat Yataratascha Artheshu Abhignaha Swarat Tene Brahma Hridayaha Adikavaye Mukhyanti Yat Surayaha Tejovari Mridam Yatha Vinimayo Yat Pritru Sargo Vrasha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Darbha Prochidha Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmat Saranam Satam Vedhyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Sivadam Tapatrayon Moolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krute Kimva Paraihisvaraha Sadhyo Hrudi Avarudhyatehe Atra Krutibihi Sutrushubihi Takshanate Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Palam Sukamukat Amritadrava Samyutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Bhuraho Rasikaha Bhuvi Bhavukaha Yam Pravrajantam Anupetam Apeta Krutyam Dvaipayano Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Saravah Abhineduhu Tam Sarvabhuta Hridayam Muni Manatosmi Yaha Svanubhavam Akila Sruti Saram Ekam Adhyatma Deepam Apitirshatam Tamom Dhama Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Gukhyam Tam Vyasasunum Upayami Gurum Muninam Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Now with Swami's grace we will continue partaking summary of Skandham number 3 in Srimad Bhagavatam, a very brief summary only. Yesterday we covered the aspects, the constituent aspects of creation, the wondrous process of creation, and then how Brahma, Manasika Putragal that he created. We also covered briefly the measurement of time, what time is. Time is Bhagavan himself. The 3 Kalpangas we briefly touched upon. The Brahma Kalpam, Padma Kalpam, Svetavaraha Kalpam. Then we also covered Brahma, right at the beginning, the creation, Brahma is nothing but the Shakti, the power that creates, okay, which is what you and I have even now. Manomulam idam jagat, our mind creates everything. Whatever I think is created, it's as simple as that. And so in that process, there are 5 types of ajnanam. At present, I touched upon that. Let me again review that because I think you would like to know this. Again, as a reminder, Tamas, Moham, Mahamoham, Tamisram, Andha, Tamisram. Tamas, Moham, Mahamoham, Tamisram, Andha, Tamisram. And these 5 are basically the different forms of hell also, Narakam, as we say. And it is not something that we have to wait till we leave this body to experience. We experience all these 5 right in our life itself. Okay? As we live through our life, you can all relate to this. Tamas simply means the ignorance that I really do not know the truth about myself. Who is my true self? That non-yar, as Ramana Maharishi asked us, right? Who am I? So that knowledge I don't have, right? I am living without that knowledge. That ajnanam is tamas. Moham is attachment to my body. I think I am this body. That is moham. Again, not to translate it into English and lose the meaning of it, because we call it delusion, illusion, and all that. But best thing is to understand it from Sanskrit, so then the message is properly understood. Then Mahamoham is the desire we have for enjoyment from the external world. Right? All these 3 we have so far. Then the 4th one, Tamisram. Tamisram is when I get angry, when what I'm desiring, there is some obstacles come to my objects of enjoyment. Because moham is there, Mahamoham is there, I desire for enjoyment. And some obstacle comes, then the anger comes. That experience is Tamisram. Under Tamisram is when the things I desire and I like in this world, I lose it. And then I become desperate. So the tremendous loss that I go through, that is under Tamisram. Okay? So you can see all these 5 that you and I have, right? Because the creation is taking place within ourselves all the time, continuously, and this is what Brahma. So that's what happened in the beginning, Manomolam Idam Jagat. Then we touched upon the Chatwari, and then Chatwari said, Swami, we cannot go and do people the earth, procreation, because we don't have any feelings of separation. So then Bhagavan, through his Manasika Puttala, created 10. Atri, Angiras, Pulastya, Pulahar, Kratu, Bhrigu, Vasishta, Daksha, and Narada. And then, in order to create people, he separated himself from himself to 2. One is the Swayambhuva Manu, the other is the Satarupa. Satarupa is a feminine aspect that attracts in 100 different ways, and the entity that gets attracted is the Swayambhuva Manu. So this is what we have, the feminine and the masculine aspects in our world. And Satarupa and Manu are the original progenitors for you and me. And the Swayambhuva Manu and Satarupa had 5 children, 2 sons, Priyavrata and Uttanapada and Priyavrata, and 3 daughters, Ahuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. Ahuti was married to Ruchi Prajapati, and Devahuti to Kardama Prajapati, and Prasuti to Daksha Prajapati. Okay, very important to understand up to this point. So keep these names in mind, because we're going to cover what happened to Daksha Prajapati's daughter, Titi and Aditi, and what happens to their grandsons, etc. That's very important. That's coming. So then we came up to the point when Swayambhuva Manu prayed to Brahma and said, Swami, fine, we will carry out according to the charter that you've given us, but the place on which we can carry this out, the bhubi, is now immersed in water. So please, we would need your help to bring this back up. Then Brahma started thinking, what should I do? At that time, he saw from his nostril, as we covered this briefly a few days ago. So very brief, as he was thinking, right from his nostril, a small boar came, very minute. And as he was looking at it, it grew in size and became very huge, even larger than even an elephant. And then Also his sons, the Marichi and the various Prajapatis, they also looked at it. They were all amazed, wonderstruck. What is this? And what is this divine creation? What is them thinking about it? At that time, the Bhagavan, who has come as the Varaha Avataram, he roared, became so huge, larger than a mountain. Then he entered the ocean, and from Rasatalam, which is the deepest part of the ocean, and he brought Mother Bhudevi and came out of the waters, and incredible, indescribably beautiful, attractive beauty it was. The Lakshmi Varahas, Bhudevi with Bhudevi Varahas carrying Bhudevi on his nose. At that time, Hiranyaksha attacked him, and then Bhagavan, there's a fight that took place, and then Hiranyaksha was killed. And so this is the beautiful summary story. Then, at that time, when this happened, all the rishis who were present, they were worshipping Bhagavan. In Slokam 34, in Adhyayam 13:1-3, Slokam 34. That's a very important Slokam. We have to take that here. Adhyayam 13, Slokam 34. Jitam jitam te avita yajna bhavana trayim tanum swam paridhunvate namaha yat romagarteshu nililyuhu advaraha tasmai namaha karana sukaraya te. Jitam jitam te ajita yajna bhavana trayim tanum swam paridhunvate namaha yat romagarteshu nililyuhu advaraha tasmai namaha Karana Sukaraya. Now, the Rishis, this is one sloka I'm quoting. The prayer goes, Rishaya Uchuho, the Rishi's prayers are there that you can read again. It's a very, very important sloka. Jitam, Jitam, victory to you, O Bhagavan, Ajita, O the one who is unconquerable. Ajita, victory to you. All glory to you, victory means all glory to you, praise to you, And the next one he says, Yajna Bhavana Trayim Tanum. Tanum, Trayim, Yajna Bhavana. Trayim means Vedas. Tanum means your body. Your body is nothing but the Vedas, which is Yajna Bhavana, the teaching of sacrifice. Your whole Swarupam Swami is Yajna Swarupam. Which is full of Vedamayam only, right? And that is now Paridunvate. Paridunvate means to shake. After when we all come out of a swimming pool, what do? We normally shake our body immediately, don't we? Same way, Bhagavan, the Varaha Avataram, comes out of the ocean carrying Bhudevi on his nose, and he shakes his body. Now, it's so beautiful. The rishis were all present with doing namaskaram. And all these water droplets fall on them. Such a beautiful scene it is. Just you got to really imagine and wish that you were there present in person. Because these waters, this prokshanam falls on you, and this is nothing but Veda Jalam. The essence of Vedam is nothing but Yajna. This is what? See, when you Paridunvate, when you shake it, yet Romagarteshu Dililyuhu. Romagarteshu, right? The water droplets come from Roma means hair. Romagarteshu means from the root of the hair. So all the waters, they all sprinkle, and Dililyuhu, the one that is submerged in your body is coming out. What is coming out? The essence of Vedas, which is nothing but sacrifice. Sacrifice. Yajnam is what our life is, not karma. Karma takes place by itself. Yajnam is a mental attitude with which I do my karma. Right? So this is the prayojanam, the phalam, the reason, the objective for which I've taken this birth. Karma takes place by itself. You don't have to worry about doing actions. Actions will do you. But be watchful. The mind should always be sacrificing, offering to Bhagavan, living for others. Sacrifice yourself. The same way if you look at a thiri, as we call it, a lamp, and when you light it, what happens after a while? Or a candle, it's easy to understand. And it gives its own life. It's giving light to you. The cotton thiri also goes away. The oil also is consumed. They all sacrifice. The sun is sacrificing itself in order so that you and I can live. So that is yajnam. So that is the essence. So when you sprinkle, so tasmai karana sukaraya te namaha. So that Bhagavan, you've taken this avataram, the avataram of a boar. The karanam is to kill Hiranyaksha. To you, namaskaram. So I thought I'll share the slogan with you again. Such a powerful slogan it is. So let us move on. So, and then we brought Bhumi Uddharanam, as they call it. Then they continue to pray to him. In Slokam 39, he says the Rishigal say, all the mantras, the devadas, all the dravyangal, the kratus, the kriya, the action, everything is your form only. To you, namaskaram. Vairagyam, bhakti, control of senses, all these are sadhanas through which we can attain you. Okay, and you are the Vidya Guru, the true Guru who teaches knowledge. To you, namaskaram. Like that they worship. Then Maitreya continued to Vidura. Remember, Maitreya's answering Vidura's question because he asked him to describe the Harikatha. So this is starting. So then after this, after bringing Bhuma Devi from and then placing her on the waters, Bhagavan disappeared. Then Vidura asked Swami, now the question comes, what is this now? This is a very playful thing that you took, you brought Bhudevi from under the ocean. At that time, this Asura Raja and Hiranyaksha, and there was why did that war take place? Then Maitreya said, this same question was asked earlier then by the Devas themselves. The Brahma gave them answer, and I tell you what the Ityasam, what the story, what the actual history on that is, I'll share with you. Now, see, the Daksha Prajapati's daughter, remember Daksha Prajapati. Daksha Prajapati is Brahma's son, and he married Prakriti. And his daughter is Diti. Aditi, there are two. So Diti was married to, both of them are married to Kashyapa Prajapati. So one evening she was again inspired. Okay, again everything is Bhagavan's will. So she was inspired, impelled rather, to approach the Kashyapa Prajapati, who is the son of Marichi. Now Marichi is another Manasa Putrika of Brahma. If you remember those names very correctly, very important. Okay, so she approached Kashyapa and she wanted to have a baby. Now that was evening time, and because at that time Kashyapa Prajapati, the evening time, he had just finished his worship, and so he was in Agnihotra place where he was just performed Homam and all that. And Diti approached him, and then he said, Swami, O Mahatma, and please, you must fulfill my desire. And then, so she was talking like this quite openly, and then at that time, Kashyapa Prajapati tried to console her, tried to comfort her, and gave her some good advice. And she said, he said, this is Sandhya, even in Sandhya Kalam, is very, very intense period it is. And this is a time when all these Asuras and all that, they're all roam about. Okay? And so this Rudrans, Buddha Kanangal, everything comes out at this time. They're all moving around at this time. And so Rudra is now with all his three eyes. He's watchful. This is when that aspect of divinity is manifested in the Sathya Kalam, evening Sathya Kalam. Okay? So, because what is going to follow through is the night, which is the Asura period. Okay? So, then, so he's saying that he again described to her that this is the period that is very dangerous, very intense, you have to be very careful. And so this is the time we must worship Bhagavan and control ourselves very carefully. But she was not dissuaded, and so she persuaded, and finally Kashyapa Maharaji, Prajapati, gave in to her. And then afterwards he went, had his snanam, and then observed Maunavratam, did pranayamam, and then went into dhyanam, doing Gayatri Mantram. After this, Niti was not only, she was quite afraid. She was very anxious, worried. So then she approached the Brahma Rishi, the Kashyapa Maharaja, Prajapati, and said, Swami, now I have done a tremendous aparadam, disrespect to Rudra. Who's the Devadai at this time? He's roaming around. And then Kashyapa said, yes, what you did is amangalam, inauspicious. Okay? Because there was dirt, your mind had the dirt of kamam in it, the lust in it, and you also disobeyed my command. Okay? And you disrespected the devas. The devas, Sandhya Vandanam, Sandhya time, you have to worship the Devadeva. But we disregarded all that. Therefore, you're going to have two sons who are bearing inauspiciousness. Okay, opposite of auspicious. Amangalam. So you're going to have two putras, and those two will be so cruel and violent and powerful. All the people in all the three worlds will be absolutely afraid. They will put them to tremendous difficulty, and they all will be crying, suffering. And at that time, Bhagavan, the Loka Rakshakan, Loka Nayakan, Bhagavan, he will come, take an avataram, and then he will destroy them. But the son of one of your sons will be the most exalted bhakta. His fame and reputation will be equal to that of Bhagavan. And so, that's what she told her. Then Diti Devi, while she was sad that she was going to give birth to two Rakshasas, she was very happy that the grandson will be a greatest bhakta. And then her pregnancy grew. The two fetuses, they were growing in her womb, because they were so powerful in a amangalam, inauspicious way. Even the sun and all that started losing their luster. It was so bad, so powerful they were. Just as the fetuses were growing in her womb, it had so much effect in the outside world. And so the Devas went and prayed to Bhagavan. Okay, they went to Brahma. Then they went and prayed to Brahma to protect them. Then Brahma told them, okay, now listen, I will tell you the full story. So this is not the beginning, what you are saying. There is a beginning prior to this. I will tell you right from the beginning so that you understand what is happening. And the story he narrated, what exactly happened, he said, my Manasika Putras, the Sanakadigal, they were born before you. Before the Devatma, the Shiva, Sanakadigal. So they were absolutely detached, always one with Bhagavan, completely detached from creation and anything that's created. Everything is only Bhagavan for them. So they could go anywhere they want. In all the 7 lokangal they could go, to Vaikuntha Lokam, wherever they want they could go. Okay. So they came once to Vaikuntham to have Bhagavan darshan. Now the entrance, and so they crossed 6 gates, and the 7th gate, as they were approaching it, and there were these Jaya Vijayas, the Dwarapalakars who were standing there, who they stopped them. Because these 4 Chatvaris were really, even though they were so spiritually advanced and they were one of the earliest creations from Brahma's Manasika Putras, they appeared so young and youthful all the time. And they look like 5-year-old kids And they were Pikambaras. They were not wearing any clothes or anything like that. Like the sky doesn't have a cloth, right? The wind does not have a cloth. If you really look at Agni, it does not have a cloth. They were like that, full of tejas only. Okay? So the Dwarapalaka stopped them. And that stopping them is something that is prohibited because they are bhaktas of Bhagavan. That also disrespected the tapo-palam, the jnana balam of this Chatvaris, these four, they even probably greatest bhaktas, even more than Brahma Rishi they were. And that was also against the command and the desire of Bhagavan. You never disrespect a bhakta. You must only fully respect them. So this act of Jaya and Vijaya is contrary. Now, what did the Chatvaris do? Then they told the Dwarapalakas, see, those who have got Bhagavan in their heart all the time, they do not see any difference. The small space is enclosed in the big space. Like that, they all see that we are all living as part of Bhagavan, the Paramatma only. Now, when it is like that, both of you have got the Vesham, the disguise of a Deva. In this Vaikuntha Lokam, you are discriminating on basis of body, they said, because they look like such young children. You're discriminating on the basis of this. And so, you're ignorant. Where did you get this fear? They said. So, because you are manda buddhi, because you acted foolishly, we want to refine you, correct you. Therefore, the two of you will take birth in the place where the three gateways, the thing that causes pavam, the thing that actually gives you manda buddhi, there are only three: kamam, krodham, lobham. So where these three are present, you will be born there. That's a sapam, the curse they gave. Now, in Bhagavad Gita, in 16th Dhyayam, you can see the one that actually destroys the Atma, the gateway to hell. There are only three: Kamam, Krodham, Lobham. These are the three enemies. Now, the Kobham, the anger, is Asura Janmam. When I get angry, I'm not a human. I behave like an Asura. That is Asura Janmam. That is taking birth. The Asuric aspect is taking birth in anger. Kamam, lust, is Rakshasa Janmam. If I behave beyond limit, I'm lust, like the way Ravana did. That is Rakshasa Janmam. Present in our life. You can look at it this way. And Lobham is Manushya Janmam. What is Lobham? Greed, miserliness. And these are all Manushya Janmam. So where these three are present, both of you will, from this Vaikuntha Lokam, you are being banished to that Lokam where those three are present. Such a cruel, such an intense, powerful curse which could not be stopped by any other mantra, the Brahmana Sapam. So, those two Dwarapalakas, they are also Bhagavan's bhaktas. They fell at the feet of the Chatvaris and they prayed. They said, curse immediately. When the curse is done, immediately they fell at their feet. At that time, the one that resides in Hridaya Nivasi, okay, that the Bhaktajana Hridayalayaya, Bhakta, we say Srinivasaya, the one who really lives in people's heart, okay, the Sarva Hridaya Nivasaya, actually, that is Bhagavan, and he, of course, Bhagavan is Sarvajna, knows everything. At this time, once this disrespect, irreverential behavior had been meted out to his bhaktas by his attendants, Bhagavan manifested there. He came there, he walked there. I actually came on Garuda, and followed by a retinue of Rishigal and Muni Shreshthar along with Sri Devi. He came there, actually, he came walking to that entrance, the seventh entrance of Vaikuntham. And then Bhagavan started speaking to the Muni Shreshthar, to the Chatvaris. Okay, it's a very beautiful discussion that originally I was planning on cutting short all that, but it is so beautiful that I want to share that with you. So we will take it up tomorrow, and along we will start with a description of how Bhagavan Vishnu came there, how he appeared, how he looked like, and then what he said. That we will take up with Bhagavan Krishna tomorrow. Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Santik Santik Santik. Harihi Om.